Alrighty, we are live and ready. The only person that wasn't back was Corthane, but I suspect he's there. Just wasn't.
I'm here. I'm just grabbing a drink.
Alrighty. So we're back when we finished up last week. You guys had opened up what was behind the white wall, and you saw a person sitting in this stone chair. He had one hand in a wrapped up, and he kind of has it underneath one of his arms. Looks like it's been wounded and wrapped. He also has a wrapping around his left eye. And when you guys, when the wall dropped, looked at you fellows, said, but he looked at Linnea and says, "Finally, you have released me from my prison." And when he does that, he kind of, slings his legs over the side of the chair, and because it's more like almost like a dentist chair where it's kind of you lay down in, doesn't have arms, kind of turns and uses his what looks like his one good arm to balance himself. And Linnea kind of moves forward to help him up, and she says, "Keeper, you are harmed." And she rushes up, and when she does, the hand that she was holding, that she used to destroy the wall, flies out of her grasp, and his other, what you assume was his wounded arm, he brings it out, and some energy tendrils are shooting out from his wrist, and they begin shooting out from the hand, and they kind of like attach to each other and pull themselves together, and the hand attaches to him, and he kind of, makes a fist, and you can see all the rings glinting, all the gems are fully ignited like they were when she used it to open up the wall. It says, "So who are my rescuers, Sage of Visions?" And you can tell he's talking to Linnea. She points at each of you and tells him your name, as she knows it. Those of you that weren't around when she was here, she's not going to know who you are. She's not going to mention you, but she does mention that you were the group of adventurers that rescued her from the node, got her out of the nodes. And as he's looking, and when she's introducing each of you, he's kind of looking intently with his one good eye. And when he looks at Corthane, after Linnea has introduced everybody, he turns back and he says to you, he almost looks like he's looking past you when he says it, and he says, "Your master will have to pay for his interference." And he kind of glances over at Jareth when he says it, and that's all he says.
So what's the sword telling me right now?
Probably what you think it is. It's saying It's him. That is the one that destroyed us. And you sense that it's expecting you to follow through on everything that it's talked about, in the past. Yep. And in fact, the when you're holding on to it, the blade seems, or not the blade, the pommel of it seems warm, almost like it's vibrating. It's like throbbing in your hand, that it wants to take action. Obviously, it can't take action, but you can tell that it wants, it thirsts for the blood of the person that's in front of you.
if as soon as he turns away from me, I will, unless something else stops me, I'll move to try and stab him in the back with it in an assassination attempt.
Okay. So everybody, you guys can see what he's doing. What do you want to take any actions?
I will ask Linnea, who is this?
This is the keeper. And as you guys are having this conversation, Linnea's looking at you, and so she can see Jareth, and you can see Jareth. He's now getting, we'll just say he's right here. He's seems to be moving forward. The keeper's kind of looking at Bjarni and Parafel and Linnea, and not really paying a lot of attention to Jareth.
Yeah.
Is my mind my own? I'm just curious.
Oh yeah, it is.
Okay. Seemed kind of out of my element last week. So
Yeah, so we were a little bit compelled last week.
yeah, right. So
Yes, Bjarni, you were until you gave the hint to Linnea, and as soon as you did, that stopped.
Gotcha.
So do we recall that? Do we recall like it stopping when we released the hand, or are we not aware of that?
No, you're aware of it.
All right, then given that, I'm certain. You know what? I see Jareth doing this. I'm gonna try to position myself over here, and I'm gonna try to get their attention. I'm gonna say, "What in the hell is the meaning of this? Who is this jackass?"
Since Linnea doesn't know you, she doesn't. She kind of looks at Grimlock and like points at him, and or doesn't point at him. She looks at Grimlock and kind of like asking who is this person. She doesn't know who he is. You weren't with them when they were in the nodes, were you?
Right. No, I wasn't. I'm trying to get the keeper's attention though, since he seemed to lock eyes on me for a moment. See if I can draw his attention from Jareth.
Okay.
I will, explain to her that, he's assisted us in our adventures as of recent, and like him, I get a bad vibe from the keeper as well.
So you say this, or you just? I mean, is this just to?
Yeah, this is me responding to her because you said she looked at me, looking for some acknowledgement of who this other person was.
Okay. And so you say you're in. He says, "My friends, I have no qualms with you. My qualms are with the temple cultists that placed me here. The keeper was working with Falrinth and his right hand. Let me see if that's what he calls him. Yeah, he just calls him his hand. And he kind of glances over towards Jareth when he says that. And he says, but they betrayed me after we threw down Zuktmoy. And I suspect that's where, and he kind of waves his newly attached hand over towards Jareth and says, that's where you got the sword. My right hand.
That's where he
Not
got
his
the
literal
sword.
right hand, but you assume he's talking about a person.
His trusted person, yeah.
Yeah. His bodyguard, right hand man, that kind of thing is what he's saying. But they betrayed him after the battle between the two of them. Apparently, and this is me pontificating, not him not saying this, is just me explaining what you guys had seen and what you've discovered on your own. That after the keeper and Falrinth and the others fought Zuktmoy, he was weakened from Zuktmoy's the battle, and at that moment, that's when Falrinth and the other person. And he'll actually tell you his name. He says he tells you that his right hand, his name was Kos, He said, "Cost and Falrinth turned against me, and that's when I lost my eye and my hand, which is, thank you for returning that."
Is this guy undead?
No, he looks like a normal, just old
And he still
person.
hasn't given us his name, right? Just calls
No.
himself the Keeper.
Yeah, he's a keeper.
Where's a paladin when you need one? Holy crap. Does anybody have any sort of like sense evil or anything? Sense alignment?
I would imagine the clerics do.
Not memorized.
Yeah.
How about an ancient history check to see if we can figure out who this guy is?
I can do that.
Yeah, I can as well. I was gonna say he's given
Yeah.
names of a couple of people. Maybe we can put it together who he is.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Go ahead, Brian.
You want that in the tower, Mike?
Sure, yeah. So you've heard of a very powerful wizard that, when he mentioned Kos, that name linked you to this other name. In your, historical references, you know that there is a powerful wizard, and I know you're going to. I mean, you guys are asking if he's undead and that sort of thing because you're assuming this is based on what we know outside of the game. But as far as you know, this person and his original name was Vecna. That's what the person that the great powerful, the most powerful mage in Greyhawk was Vecna, or is Vecna, and his right hand man was Kos, who was always there to defend him against assassination attempts and all this other. But I know in the current incarnation of Greyhawk, he's a lich and he's all this other stuff, but that is not part of your knowledge. And
So, is there anything in that knowledge of knowing why Kos turned on him?
other than what he told you right then
Okay.
at that moment? No.
All right. So, I'll call him by name.
He says, "I haven't heard that name in 2 decades. But yes, that is my original. That is the name I was given at birth." Trying to give these guys the opportunity to ask and say things before they jump in and start trying to fight
I'll
this
look
guy.
over at Barney.
So I'll ask him. Now that you're free, what are your plans?
Says, "Well, I came here seeking to release an ancient power so that I could elevate myself beyond this realm. But with the destruction of this temple, that is no longer possible. But my stage of visions," and he kind of waves his hand over at Linnea, going to, or not is going to, she has been tasked with finding the Earth Blood. That is where we're going to go. He says it far more elegantly than I would. Sorry, guys.
What's the Earth Blood? Never heard of that.
He just kind of says that it would take your lifetime for me to explain, but suffice it to say that it would do what I was trying to do here. Because for the freedom that you guys have granted me, once again, I will grant you a boon if your friends, and he kind of waves, and again he's looking, his hand kind of lingers towards Jareth, will let me be. Otherwise we'll be forced to fight, and then the dying will start. And again, I'll reiterate to Parafel that he is supposed to be the most
Yeah.
powerful mage in Orth, the planet.
Yeah,
There's
and
no other wizard that was as powerful as
I
this
look
guy.
at Grimlock and I'm shaking my head. Don't do it. Let's not.
No, it's not me you got to worry about,
Yeah.
dude. It's the rogue
But-
that's going to assassinate him.
And he's right there by you.
All you gotta do is trip me if you don't want me to do it.
Yeah, I will definitely put my arm around Jareth and say, "Hey, buddy,
So
let's
I know
let's
this.
huddle up."
I know that you told me what you wanted to do, and we had some conversations. And
That's
so
right.
the way I see this is that you're trying to find a moment between the conversations and when you can make your attack, if that's what you want to do.
That's right.
And
That's
as you're doing that, you're kind of moving a little forward, and Grimlock can see this, and the people behind the keeper can see that as well. So I wanted to give them the opportunity to kind of take in the situation as well.
That's right.
Before
That's
we
right.
got into the other piece. So
No, you handled
with
it
that,
just fine.
okay,
Just
with
fine.
that, Grimlock, you can put your hand on his shoulder, do whatever it is you're going to do, and go.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so I'll say, "Hey, Jareth, good old buddy, old pal. Let's huddle up over here, man. I want to talk to you." And
All right.
and I will put my arm around him and kind of pull him over to the side to figure out what his problem is.
What's your current strength?
My current strength
Yeah,
is 1822.
that's about a very large number compared to mine. So even if I didn't want to, I would go with you.
Yeah, that was kind of the intent. It's kind of like, yeah, you're coming with me.
Yeah, I'm going with you.
well, you guys can definitely have a private, and I'm using quotes, private conversation, and the keeper is not going to be, distract. I mean, you other people, if you want to talk to the keeper while they're having a conversation, you can. So if you want to ask Jareth what's going on, what he plans to do, why he wants to do it, and all that, you certainly can. You guys can make up a plan on that.
Yeah, that's my intent. I was like, yeah, this guy, I'll tell Jareth, this guy gives me the heebie-jeebies, but I don't think it's in our power to get in his way. And it looked to me, I've seen that look in your eye before, and it looks like that was your intent, was to try and get in this guy's way. So what's your thinking here?
Well, I think that the original holder of this sword, this guy Koss, realized what this keeper was up to, and realized that he had to stop him. Whatever this keeper was up to, I know he's a really really powerful mage, and even his most trusted guy wanted to stop him. So this is our shot. He doesn't have his eye. I've got the sword. You let him go, the chance is past. He wants to, ascend in power. He's already the most powerful mage there is. What do you want from this guy? Maybe he'll leave us alone. Maybe he won't. I mean, right now he's saying I'll grant you a boon, but what about the world afterwards?
Yeah, I mean, I'm the boon doesn't concern me at all. The boon is not why I was here. Our mission here was primarily to save the surrounding area from the evil that was stemming from this temple, and secondary, it was to find Thrommel. Now we've completed our second mission, albeit Thrommel is deceased, but I I feel like we've now cleansed the area of the corruption and the evil that was stemming from this temple, and that people around here are going to be free to live in peace at this point. This wizard doesn't sound like he's sticking around, so I don't see that stopping him in whatever his mission is, which I'm not gonna understand. It's all this magic mumbo jumbo. I don't see how that's gonna help anybody. I think that's just gonna get us all killed.
So do you want this guy to become an evil demigod?
Is that his intent?
Yeah. When I said ascend, I meant it.
Okay, yeah, my guy doesn't know anything about ascending. He's like, yeah, he doesn't, demigod, whatever.
This is all what this spirit of this guy that died, ending the life or actually just putting this guy in stasis. That's what he was trying to stop. And now we've let him go. Do we care to stop it? Will one more demigod, make a difference? I was going to throw down my life, but it's going to get us all killed. And I don't want to do that.
That's my concern. I feel like, we've struggled to get to the point where we are. We've been on the edge of a knife, and nearly died countless times. You and me both together. And I think we can both agree that we are not at the power level we need to be at to stop this guy at this time. But but we can leave here and rest and recuperate and train and get stronger. And if he does indeed turn into the problem that you envision happening, maybe then, once we've gained strength and power, fortune and fame, if that's what's in the cards for us, maybe then we can deal with him. But right now, I don't see this as our mission, and I feel like we have much more good to do in this world.
So, while he is saying that to you, Jareth, you get the sense that the logic of that argument appeals to the sword because, or at least, and in fact, you hear a stronger voice than you have before from it. And in fact, since you've been brought back, you seem to have a closer connection. It's easier to communicate between you and the entity that is the sword.
Yeah.
And it sounds like that the sword is kind of giving you the impression that it thinks that it may be better. Your friend may be right that we wait because he knows we're coming like he did before, and we failed then.
All right, Grimlock. I don't want to throw. I'd be willing to lay down my life if I had a chance of success, but I don't think I have much of a chance, and I don't want to cost everybody else their lives. I'm willing to walk away.
Okay. And with that,
I take my hand off the sword.
Okay.
Leave it in the scabbard.
So you guys had your conversation in private. The rest of you guys, did you want to have any discussions with the keeper or Linnea or anything while they're doing that?
Will he tell us anything about? Well, he said the Earthblood would take too long to explain.
He said it would take a lifetime to explain. But, I mean, you gather from his implication that it was something that would grant him the ability to ascend beyond this plane of existence.
No, I think we need to get the information back to other people. And like I said, we would all die right here, and it wouldn't slow him down.
I would like to tell him, that during our final thrust to get down here to this area, that we had this, Mr. Use the Old showed up, and an avatar of my deity showed up to combat him. So I think if it's within his power to smack somebody's pee-pee, he needs to be smacking Use's pee-pee, because he's the one who kind of helped put him in this place, if he didn't already know that.
He kind of gives a sort of sly sort of grin that implies that he's not he understands, he's not happy with the person that you're talking about. He says yes, they will pay. And again, he kind of glances over at Clorthane when he says that.
Yeah, I've been eyeballing that sword pretty intently. I imagine we could hear the conversation that these two have been having.
Grimlock and Jareth?
Yeah.
I don't
Give
think
me
so.
a hear noise, because they're trying to keep it from the keeper, so the only way you would hear it is if you make your hear noise
Oh,
check. So you
man.
can do that in the tower, please.
Sure.
Yeah, I was definitely trying to keep that discussion under wraps.
Yeah. Curiosity, though. Where the hell is
That's where
it?
you need clairaudience.
Where... There we go.
So you were able to hear at least 50% of the conversation, I'll say. You weren't able to discern it all, but your ability to focus in on low sounds and kind of watch their lips and hear what hear some of the words they're saying, you're able to determine at least 50% of what they were saying. You got a pretty good detect noise.
Yeah,
I'm
it's not
surprised. Most
bad.
people don't put that in there, points in there.
Yeah, I went mostly detect noise, find and remove traps and locks. Everything else is garbage. Man. Like, gonna do some campaign ending shit. I'll hold it off for a half a second though, while everybody else decides what they want to do. But I'm still staring at that sword, like super hard.
By the end of our conversation, you see that I kind of relax and stand down and just stand there next to Grimlock.
Oh. This.
He says, so the keeper, all right, I'll let you, if you want to do something else, go ahead before I.
All right. I'm gonna walk over to the two over here and kind of keep an eye on the keeper as I'm approaching and see how these two react as I approach. Anything?
If you're
Well,
asking if I,
no, this is
if
more of a question for Grimlock and Jareth if they're on edge or anything as I approach.
okay.
No, my intent
No.
was to keep the communications from Linnea and the keeper. If you guys walk up and listen in, I could give a shit.
Okay. So he's like still in a portal, right? Like we would have to
No,
step
it
in.
was just that white wall that you're standing on
Right.
is not
Oh,
there
and-
anymore. It's
oh,
gone.
okay,
That
that's
wall
all.
dropped down. It's now
Mhm.
like a flat circle. It's like a slightly raised stone dais, and then on it is like this stone chair that's kind of stretched out like you lay in it instead of sit in it. And he was in
Right.
that. And when the wall
Mm.
dropped, he was freed. So there's no like a magical portal or anything right there.
Right. All right. So shit. Nobody wants to try to stop me, huh? I have a feeling that this is not going to go well.
If you're going to attack the guy, what's on your mind?
Well, I don't want to say.
Well,
Really.
Jareth has, like I said, has relaxed, and I look at you and I go, what's on your mind?
Yeah, and keep in mind, you know that he wants to kill him too, but he has decided to stay his sword for the moment at least. So
Yeah, I was gonna until Grimlock talked to me, and you heard half that conversation. So
Right. Well, to hell with it. I'm gonna go for the sword and see if Jareth tries to stop me.
I do.
All right.
And as soon as he starts to get aggressive, I'll put my arm around him. Hey, buddy, what's going on?
See if I can be quicker than these two.
so if he's making a grapple sort of grab attack, you can, since you have weapons, you can
Yeah.
attack him before he does that if you so choose. You will be
So-
+4 to hit.
There are 3 of me still.
Mirrors.
Yeah, I have 2 mirrors plus myself. So
Okay, gotcha.
I'm using the.
Yeah. So if you wanna, if we want to go through, so Grimlock, give me a straight Thaco attack against Corthane, please. See if you can get your arm around him.
Oh, you said against Corathane. Okay.
Yeah.
So you want me to
it's an
drop
AC,
it on him?
Yeah, I did it for you, but it's AC 10,
Okay.
so you missed him. So you try to grab him, and he's like too quick, dodges out of the way. What are you doing? You gonna keep trying to grab his sword, or?
Yep, I'm trying to pull the sword from the scabbard. If I can get it quicker,
Alright.
then he can get a hand on it.
I'm pretty
Uh,
fast too.
I
Yep,
was gonna
we're
say Jareth definitely has the. So what we need to do is first off, you, since you're making an unarmed attack effectively against Jareth, he gets the same thing that I said that you get against Grimlock. Jareth, if you so choose, you can draw the blade and attack him with a +4 attack, or any other weapon you have. You get the initial attack because he's attacking you unarmed, and you have access to weapons. You don't have
Okay,
to.
I have daggers. I'm not pulling the sword.
Okay.
So you
Uh,
want to
so,
pull a dagger and make an attack at him?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. You get a +4 to hit when you make the attack. We're not going to do initiative. We're just going to walk through one side then the other.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm just adding a +4. Have to target core thing.
To hit, yeah. And if he hits you, it stops the. It basically deflects and stops you from getting at his weapon. If it doesn't, then you get to make your attack, which will be a called shot at a grab for his sword.
Oof.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 1 on a die. Yeah.
I'm telling you, this is meant to happen.
All right, give me a. You need to make a tackle attack against him -4,
Okay.
and
Well,
you're doing a called shot to grab his
Right.
weapon.
We'll find out if this is truly meant to be. Probably not with my shit, Thaco, but we'll see. Need a nat 20 more than likely. Ooh. So close.
Oh, you missed. Yeah, he's able to twist his hip away at the last moment, and you miss.
Right. Well.
You want to continue?
Nope. I'm not about to. I'll take a step back.
Okay, one
I'll
second.
say
Hold on a second. We need to have a private conversation.
Oh.
You hear
okay.
a voice in your head, or not in your head, behind you.
Right.
You know, right behind your ear, and it reminds you of that voice that you heard when you broke the seal on that scroll and summoned that demonic devil thing.
Uh-huh.
It says, "What are you doing, you fool?"
This thing needs to be ended. It can't
He
be
is the
trusted.
only one that can kill him.
Are we talking about Jareth or are we talking about the Keeper?
In relation to who can kill
Like,
who?
yeah, like who can kill who?
He is saying, when he says that, he's implying that Jareth is the only one that can kill the Keeper.
Oh, okay. Well, Jareth is not wanting to do it, and I have a feeling it needs to happen.
It says it does. If you want to throw away your life trying now, that is your choice. And then it doesn't say anything else after that.
All right.
And then I'm going to move us back to the other channel.
Okay.
All right, we're back.
All right. So I'll ease back, hands up, and I'll say, Jareth, I don't know what Grimlock is telling you, but we cannot trust this wizard. And I'll point over at the keeper.
I agree, but our best chance is not today. It's another day.
And I'll reiterate. I'll tell Corthane the same things I told Jareth. Say, look, I get it, buddy,
Do you?
but there's nothing we can do right now.
What have you lived?
Yeah,
54
that
years?
one
What do you understand about
is
something like this?
pretty terrible.
This eternal
Nothing.
wizard
Zippo. I don't
wants to.
understand anything about it. I
don't-
just think we have more good to do in this world. And so I'm not wanting to die against this guy today because I don't think we have a shot.
Moments like
It's
this are
amazing
few.
what some rumors.
We don't take the opportunity now. We may not ever get another one. And I am not saying this quietly. I want everyone to hear this. I don't know what you guys did with this woman, but she is obviously not to be trusted.
It's not about trust right now. You know, we have gone through a lot, but we are not in this guy's league. We may never be.
Wouldn't even slow him down.
I'm sure he's just watching us, seeing if we're froggy and if we're going to jump.
He
Yeah,
is
you wanna-
kind of, he's mostly just kind of seemingly cordial. He's actually stretching a little bit, like he's been stiff, been up in that chair for you don't know how long, maybe decades, and he is kind of watching you, kind of with a little smirk, like he's like enjoying the chaos that you guys are causing within your own party, but he is not. He doesn't seem to be antagonizing anybody. He just kind of, he seems to be enjoying the environment right now.
I want you to keep in mind, Corathane, that we've already used the most powerful abilities this sword has. So even the advantages that this guy Koss had, we don't have.
And he's been cooped up in here for we have no idea how long. He's probably only going to get stronger from this point. If we have a chance,
As
I have a
we-
feeling it's now.
And I'll just look at him and say, so are you.
Look, I'm not here to fight the entire group, but I will say I think this is foolish. We may be unleashing an evil on this world that was worse than anything this temple itself could have even summoned. There is a reason he's trapped in here.
You didn't unleash it, and neither did I.
Well, technically, this bitch did, and I'll point over at Linnea. I mean, that hand of his convinced, was it Parafel, I believe, that threw his holy symbol down?
No, Bajarni.
Or Bajarni. So,
Yeah, he didn't throw his holy symbol. He brought the
Or
hand
dropped
to
it.
her.
yeah, but didn't he drop it on the ground or something? I seem to recall.
I think he threw it to her or something. You guys stopped
No,
him, so he threw it.
like his holy symbol. I seem to recall like he was trying to walk towards the portal without his holy symbol. And that's what kickstarted all of us trying to intercept him. And I caught the hand, and then I was possessed and gave the hand to her,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah, there
the whole
was anything involved with the holy symbol. I'll just say that. But the rest of it was accurate.
All right, so at any rate, I don't trust anybody that needs to go through that amount of deception. I don't know what you guys did for this woman or what she's done for you, but she was sure adamant to control some minds to get a hand to this so-called keeper. And I'll step back over here. I'm not going to fight you guys, but I just want you all to understand, I really don't think this is a good idea, and I think we are doing this entire world a great disservice if we let this being leave without at least giving it a shot.
I agree with you, but I can't speak for everybody else here.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
If I were a paladin,
I don't think
I'd
any
already
of
be
us want him.
fighting and
any-
dying.
I don't think any of us want him to leave. But like I said, Paraphil knows that we would not stop him, and we wouldn't slow him down.
we
And
don't
he
know
would kill
that.
us all.
He could.
He would kill us all, and then go on to do what he went.
We're making big
What he
assumptions
did.
on that. He
Just
could
look
be
at it.
powerless. He could be
The
powerless
most
right now.
powerful,
Maybe.
the most powerful wizard to
A
walk
powerful
Earth.
wizard is only powerful if he has his spells.
Are you willing to chance it? Doesn't he have those?
For the sake of the world, I am. But without the
And
rest of you, and if you're all going to stop me, then no.
Doesn't he have the rings? Because weren't they on the hand?
Oh yeah, he has all 4 of those rings.
Corthane doesn't know shit about the rings.
Plus the hand, and you know the hand had some effect with whom wielded it. Valorant.
Well, I really hope you're all right, because I certainly can't live with myself should we unleash a greater evil on this world without attempting to stop it.
Yeah, this is kind of why I wasn't sure what was.
I don't
going
know
on
about
in
your gods, but
Blaze of Glory or
I have a feeling mine would be
Intelligent.
rather displeased with me.
Sessions.
I'm all about saving the planet, man. And I'm going to sleep good tonight knowing that I did my 2 cents worth for this planet. I've died and almost died over and over and over again. And we just fought, hell and earth back in that room.
To what end, though? To deliver this thing, its most powerful item, so that it can be brought back to this world? That's all that I've seen that has happened here today.
Well,
Yep.
my character's only got an intelligence of 8, so most of this is going right over his head.
I'm 9, buddy. I'm 9. Welcome to the club, okay?
Borgin
Now,
is.
keep in mind, 8 is only like 1 below average, so.
It's
Yeah.
2 below, but who's counting?
I think 9 is the base, right?
I
Yeah.
thought it was 10.
I
A
do
9
know
is
I
average, I think.
don't see a clear and present danger from this guy. Like, sure, he's evil, probably, but Linnea is probably evil, and she's helped us.
There's lots
Unless
of
there's a
evil
clear
in
and
the
present
world.
threat from this guy, I don't have a problem with him.
She helped us because we had the rings, or well, because you had the rings and the hand.
She helped us because we were all trapped on the nodes. That's why she helped us.
We didn't have any rings when we met
Right.
her.
I have more information. I'm just going off what I think Corthane would know. This is all he knows of the situation, so this is what he's saying. But look, at this point, I'm out. Like, this sucks. This evil that you are all about to bring upon this world, I can't stand by this. And those of you that think you're of a good heart, I don't know. It's highly disappointing. That's all I can say. And I'll just walk back over to this side of the room. Unless somebody wants to like deck me in the face or anything.
I'm gonna look at I'm gonna look at Grimlock and go, I can live with that.
Yeah, that's fine. So at this point,
Give me a second. 1 second. I need to have a discussion with Frankie real quick. Be right back.
All right, sure.
So when you say the bit about Them being, and I wish I could remember exactly what you said previously. Right now we're in a different channel,
I
so
know
nobody else can
I'm
hear.
throwing a lot out about them being good, or
Yeah. When you say that, you kind of hear this laugh in the back behind you that kind of says, "Oh, you are brilliant." In the back, it's just because it seems like he's laughing at the irony of you saying that,
right?
because there's something that it finds funny. So
Yeah, because I unleashed a demon. Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
that seems to be attached to you for some reason or another.
right. Ah, indeed. Oh, they don't
Okay.
know that.
No, they don't. I'm gonna move us back.
Okay.
All right, we're back. Sorry,
Right.
go ahead, Grimlock.
Me, go ahead.
You were saying something when I interrupted. Sorry.
No, that was
I
me
was just
talking.
gonna pull all the party and kind of get everybody in the loop as far as what's going on, and explain to them all that, I think, this guy's lofty goals are probably not the best intention, but I think it's way beyond our powers to prevent this. I think this is going to be a matter for the gods, really, and people smarter and more powerful than us, and maybe one day we will be smart enough and powerful enough to make a difference. If this guy does indeed turn into, the evil that Jareth and Corthane suspect he will. But my intention is to, go up to him and have a discussion with him and make sure that this area, the temple and the surrounding areas, is going to be free from evil at this point, and that we're not going to have to deal with any more corruption coming out of this temple. I want it to be dormant, and I'm going to ask him to help us make that happen, because that was our mission coming in here.
Well, I feel as though I've said my piece on this matter, but I think the statement of no more evil coming out of this temple is highly inaccurate. The evil we're about to let loose on this surrounding area, I feel, is probably going to be worse. And to insinuate or think that gods will ever tamper in mortal affairs directly is presumptuous, to say the least.
Didn't we just see one?
So I said,
To fight another god.
Two.
Yeah, they were fighting each other, and then what? They left.
Yeah, that seems like they're aware of the situation.
Yeah, if they were gonna partake in this at all, where are they now? Not here. The affairs of mortals are left to the affairs of mortals. That's why those two didn't stick around to just annihilate all of us to begin with. They fought their battle and took it somewhere else. So if we don't stop this, well, the gods damn sure aren't going to do it.
I seem to remember you having an issue with some sort of jellyfish with a lot of tentacles, and me coming and saving you.
This is true, and I thank you for that.
Yeah, and I didn't mind doing it, and I'd do it again in a heartbeat. But if you had a trouble with that jellyfish underneath that table, what do you think? How do you think you're going to deal with this guy?
Well, I don't presume to think I'm going to kill him by myself, but there is a team of us, and a team can do some great things. There are plenty of stories out there of heroes taking down what most think are insurmountable odds. But we're just willing to give up after everything that I assume you've all been through.
Nobody said we're giving up.
Well,
I just don't think we're
We-
going to stop him here.
it just feels as though we're just unleashing this on the world and then assuming that it's going to be okay. And I don't feel like that's the case. That's all I'm saying. But again, I'm not I'm damn sure not going to try to fight this thing by myself. I made my attempt. You all made your point. So at this point, I'm with you. You know, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. And all I can do is hope that a big ass "I told you so" isn't going to come. And I'll sit on the corner and pout.
And
By the way,
and I'll just
no
tell-
corners in a round room. By the way,
I was just thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
Round room.
That's not true. There's a corner
There's
between
a corner
the wall and the floor.
right here. There's a corner right here.
So right after he finishes talking, I'll say great things, because that's the words he used. I'll say great things. We've done great things in this temple. We've done great things today. And in the interest of doing great things tomorrow, let's pack our bags and head back to town.
Here, here.
I'm walking.
Morgan, Jalaman, you guys
I'm
are ready
ready.
to walk this shot.
I'm with Grimlock.
Yeah,
Hey, Morgan.
Borgen's neutral, and he worships the god of death, so he doesn't really have a big opinion. He's definitely not gonna try to attack this guy right now because a bunch of us are injured, and he's got those rings.
Okay.
And I'm just not that worried about it.
So once you guys come to your decision, so the keeper says, I can grant you a boon, and most mortals seek wealth or magic, and I can bring forth this. And he waves his hand in this chest. It's a giant chest, massive, huge thing. And he flips open the lid, and you can see bags and a pommel, sticking out of it, and a wand and a staff and some clothes and armor. It's just kind of all piled in there. And he says, you can take what you can carry. He says, but you best hurry because the temple is falling with my freedom. And with that, he looks at Linnea and says, Linnea, Sage of Visions, take us to our next. He kind of fades off. You don't hear what he says. She nods and she kind of looks to the left of the room. She starts waving her hands, and these symbols start appearing in the middle of the air, like one at a time. And as they do, you see this circle appear in the middle of the air, and each symbol kind of sticks to the circle. And at the end, there's 7 symbols, and her right eye glows green and shoots straight into it, and this sort of watery pool just splashes out of it, and the keeper grabs her hand, and they step through and vanish.
Okay.
And you guys hear the rumbling of the temple itself is making a lot of racket, like it's shaking and the ground rumbles. You can see and hear, pieces of the stonework crumbling off to the sides. You can hear further down in the temple area where you guys came from. You can hear large chunks of stone hitting the ground, and you have a very short period of time before this building will collapse. Being a dwarf, you understand this. So, with that said, what we're going to do is each person that chooses to, you're going to be able to take 2 items from this chest. This is your reward for doing the Temple of Elemental Evil. This is what I decided to do.
But we don't get the items from the other chest that we didn't open.
No, you do not. Had you opened them beforehand, certainly could have.
Okay.
That said, I mean, if you want to stay around, but you are certain that the structure that you're in is going to fall within minutes, and you guys need to make the quickest way out. And each of you has time to grab 2 things each out of the thing and get what you're looking for. So, let me get to the tables, and this is going to be just mostly me rolling on tables, and you guys deciding, I want to get a staff, and this is what you find. I want to get a stick. This is what I find. Whatever it is, that's what we're going to be doing. So, give me a moment to get to that. Alrighty, so we'll start at the top of the list. Paraphil. Paraphil, you can see there's a sundry of everything. You can see potions and scrolls and wands and armor and swords and daggers and all kinds of things within this massive chest. So, what 2 things would you like to grab? And keep in mind, you won't know what they are other than it looks like a wand, or it looks like a staff, or it looks like a potion, or a cloak, or a robe, or something.
Let's do. You said swords, right?
Uh-huh.
He would like another sword.
Alrighty, 1 second. Let's see. Where's my thing? Oh, I just drove that down here. Let's see. My table again. Oh, I gotta turn down my music. It's a little loud on my end. There we go. Shortcuts aren't working. Alrighty, so we're going for a weapon, and you want sword. Alrighty, you pull out a sword, and I will put that in the party sheet. I'm going to leave it identified just because I'm assuming you guys are going to spend time afterwards anyways. So that is the blade that you got. You grab the pommel, you pull it out. It's a short sword, and it's a short sword +2. What is the other thing you would like to grab?
I rolled, and he will grab a wand.
Let me make sure the charges and everything are. There you go. That is the 2 things you grabbed. Alright, and next on the list is Malachus is not here. He's not getting anything. Jareth, are you going to grab anything out of there?
Yeah, I'm gonna grab 2 rings.
2 rings, going for the gold.
Nice.
Oh, that was not bad.
What was the wand? I didn't catch it.
Wand of Illumination.
Okay, here is the first one. I haven't determined what is in this thing, so we'll have to determine that on the side. Remind me when we get done.
You haven't determined what kind of ring it is, you mean?
No, I didn't identify it. There it is. It's a ring of spell storing, so we'll have to determine what is in it.
Gotcha.
First. This was the other thing. This one I think you can use right off the bat. I'm not sure you can use a ring of spell storing, but you won't know what it is until you grab it and take it. And I'm assuming you guys are going back and identifying these later. That's why. So keep in mind that they could be not useful to you.
I understood that when I took the risk on the rings.
Okay.
Should I transfer those to my inventory?
Yes, they are the ones you grabbed, and they are stored. What you do with them is totally up to you. Alright. And keep in mind, there are bags of gems and coins and various other things too, if you would rather grab 2 of those. But if not, that's fine. So, next person is Jalaman.
I I think I would like to grab a helm, like a helmet, and
So
may
actually, let me clarify what types of things are. There's books. There's books and tomes. There's jewels and
books.
jewelry, cloaks and robes, books and gloves, girdles and helms, bags, bottles, dust, stones, household items and tools, musical instruments, and weird things. So rod, stabs, wands, potions, oils,
I
weapons,
didn't know there
armor,
were
shields.
books.
I think I heard. Did I hear helms in that list?
There is a category of girdles and helms. There's not like a specific helm
That's fine.
thing. Okay.
Girdles and helms is fine.
You want a girdle?
Now, if it's
I gotta
something
watch
that's
my
cursed,
figure, you know.
if one of these comes up as cursed, I'm not gonna. That's not gonna be because this is a basically this is the treasure hoard of the keeper, and he is granting you access temporarily to take what you wish from it. But if it wouldn't be cursed, so it wouldn't be in there. So that's what. If there is a cursed thing, it comes up, which in this case that is. There is this. Alright, you got that. You want one helm or two helms or helm and something else?
I was gonna go for a flail if I could. Is there a flail in there?
There are weapons. There's not a specific. Let me see. So you're wanting a clerical weapon, aren't you?
Yeah, I just want. I have a +2 Morningstar, but I would like a second magical weapon. And I'm proficient in flail, footman's flail, horseman's mace, maul, Morningstar, warhammer.
Second. Alright, so you got a mace and you got a ring. Go ahead and grab those. Or
Cool,
a
thank
helm and a mace. So put those in your inventory. Yeah. Yeah, I cheated a little there. I just specifically picked that one. Alright. Next is Grimlock. Choices,
Well,
choices. What do you want to do,
I
sir?
I lost my gauntlets, and I really like those. So I'm going to pick from that category.
So there's not like a gauntlet category. Let me look at that. Maybe the girls. No, it's not.
I thought you said gauntlets or gloves and something.
Boots and gloves.
There you go.
Well, there's not a specific one for gauntlets. There is a specific category for girdles and helms, which
Yep, I'm gonna pull one from there too.
Okay, so keep in mind these gauntlets could be like something unrelated to what you're doing. So,
Well, I mean, anything could though. Any category I pull from, it could be something that is completely off the wall, right? I mean,
yeah. I'm gonna try to give you a couple of shots to at least get the first gauntlet I get is what you. Okay, yeah. Here's the first gauntlet. Is not really what you were looking for. And you said you wanted to do the girdle as well.
yeah, the girdle helm category or whatever.
Okay.
But yeah, I was looking for a girdle specifically.
Just went past it. Alright, those are your two things.
Girdle of stone giant strength. Now that's what I
Ooh.
was looking for.
Now
It's
you're
right
talking.
there.
That's nice.
That's
20
the
strength.
stuff.
Alrighty. Next is Garten.
Oh damn, stone giant.
The category, is there like magical bags?
Uh-oh.
Bags and bottles.
Yeah, he wants to try for a bag.
Inch parcel. There we go.
Those gems starting to weigh you down, buddy?
Yeah.
Looking for a bag. Looking for a bag. Looking for a bag. Stop with the fucking alchemy jugs. That's like 3 times in a row. Okay, here we go. Give me a percentile roll. You can do it out in the open. 1 to 100. 25 is going to be 250 pound.
Charles, you need to take your stuff, dude.
Oh yeah, shit, yeah, dude.
The bag of holding is for, or the probably unidentified item is for. All right. So there's your bag. What else?
And
A
he will
giant.
look for
You want another giant bag of gems? Just like a huge bag of gems, or you want to get something?
sure. He's. You know what? Yeah, he probably sees the gems and is like, you know what? This might fit in this other bag. He'll grab a bag of gems.
So give me a percentile. Hold on. Let me.
Maybe it'll be a bag of gems like the tankard of Everfull beer.
So give me a percentile roll out in the open.
58.
All right, now give me a roll of a 1 to 1,000. So it's like slash die space 1 space 1,000. I think that's how it works. Maybe it's one dot slash die 1,000.
Say that again. Slash roll.
Slash DIE space 1,000. I think will do it. I'm gonna. Nope.
You could roll a D10 and use that as a hundreds place, and then roll
Why?
from-
I know there's a die roll command. I just can't remember how to use it. Dice slash die 1D 1,000. Sorry, God, I'm an idiot. There you go, something like that. Actually, do 10,000, not a 1,000. Do 10,000. Yeah, what he said. Slash die space 1D 10,000. So you have 58 gems of gold piece value, 6,800 gold. So let me. Quick. Or 6,800 GP. And you have 58. There you go. You are a really rich person now. Alright. And next, after Garton, is Corthan. Are you going to grab something out of the chest, or are your sensibilities too offended to do so?
Be right back.
Frankie?
No way, man. Not part of these shenanigans. I still got fly spell active. I'm flying the hell out before this place collapses on these guys. I'm gonna head to the Grey Council and spend the rest of my life researching this guy and any potential weaknesses.
And then when he turns his back on the chest, I'll reach in there and just grab 2 wands and throw them in the bag that he just took, and I'll say, "Here, we'll give them to him later."
Now, I'm not gonna let you do that. because it's his choice what he wants to do, and like I said, the reason you only get to pick 2 from this massive chest of things is because the building is collapsing around, and each of you are all grabbing these things all at once and doing it very quickly, and you don't even realize that he is not doing this. I
Okay.
will say to Frankie that you suspect that it would improve your odds of fighting him in the future. Whether you still want to do what you're doing, that's fine. I'm trying to impart some additional information without dragging you to another channel.
Right.
And
That's fine.
Art, you need to grab the gems.
He's not sticking around here. This place is falling apart. He's not going to take the chance.
Okay. All right. You're good. All right, Brother Bizarni.
Yeah, I want to grab for if I see like the edge or whatever of a shield.
Armor and shields. I will roll till I get a shield.
Smitty, you left gems up there, bub.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I'll fix it.
There you go. There's your shield. That's a
Nice.
badass shield. What's the second thing?
And the other thing was like a nice big fat book. Looked like arcane symbols
Books
on it.
and tomes.
I have a
Yeah,
quick
you need to
question.
shift drag those gems.
That was my question. What button I needed to hit?
I think it's shift.
Thank you.
And we are rolling on a book. Keep in mind there are a lot of books, so this could be completely useless to you. Do you still want to grab a book?
I'm just grabbing a book because there's lots of books, and I'm gonna grab one. Hoping it'll help somebody.
A wise man seeking knowledge.
Yeah, I know I'm cheating, and I'm rolling till I get something that would be useful to him. But I mean, these guys have been doing this for like a year, 2 years now, and I want to get him something that's. Ugh. No.
I'm gonna grab a drink. I'll be right back.
There we go. Alrighty, there are your books. There is your book. And next is Borgin.
He just went AFK.
Oops. We'll skip him and come back to him. Actually, he's the last one. According to my. I didn't miss anybody, did I? We just need to wait for Borgin.
I have a question about weapons while we're waiting.
Okay.
So I'm looking at this Mace of Disruption, and it has 4 different kinds of damage types. And I figure the bottom
it depends on
2 are
which.
for undead.
I'm back.
Yeah, what you need to do is look at the description of the item and see that it does various. It depends on the type of creature. It's either undead or versus outer planar creatures and various other things. It will do more damage to each one depending on that. So, based on that, that's what you'll need to look at what damage it does.
I gotcha. Okay, gotcha.
It's not. There's not really an easy way to do that because of the way that particular item works. So there's like 4 different damage types for it, or damage rolls for it. Borgin, what did you want to grab? Broadstaff, wands, robes, cloaks, weapon.
Well, ever since my rod of smiting got smited out of existence, I'm stuck with either my scythe, which is non-magical, or a +2 dagger. I don't suppose I could just reach in and pull out a magic scythe. Is there a way? I don't really know that much about necessarily the world. Is there a way to get like just a mundane weapon enchanted, so at least would damage magical or creatures that are immune to normal weapons?
It depends on the item, and you would have to hire, a wizard of some sort. That's not particularly related to what we're doing right now, though. But there are, I mean, you would have to go somewhere to like the city of Greyhawk and spend a huge amount of money, probably in the 50 to 100,000 gold range to enchant something to be magic. Because when you do that, it ages the caster several years and costs them a point of constitution or at least 1 point. So they charge a lot of money, a lot of gold for that.
So that's kind of what I was wondering. I'm probably not going to be able to pull, that much wealth out of here. So I guess I'll just go for like um, a rod and a ring.
First. Oh! I like this. I need to add the weapon damage to it. Don't grab it out yet. 1 sec.
Oh, cool. Look at that. Detect alignment.
Yeah, that's nice.
That's kind of cool, man. Like instant pally.
Yeah, that's crazy. It does all kinds of stuff. Needs a 16th level priest to recharge it.
It counts as a magic weapon, too.
And for some reason, I want to do so. Put it on your inventory and no, don't do that. God dang it! Why are you not working? Ish.
You need a specific proficiency to use a rod?
No, it is for the
Okay.
weapon part of it. It's a mace. What it acts like. It says in the description that the rod functions as a footman's mace +1. We'll have a magic item, and I think I'll have to wait until you put it in your inventory to get it to work. Actually, let me make this frickin' thing. This is why I don't like to read only stuff. Causes me all kinds of headaches. Don't know why it wouldn't work in the Now I will delete that one. So, there you can drag and drop that in your inventory. And what was the other one? A ring?
Yes, please.
Alrighty, there is the ring. And I think that was the last person, yes? Nobody else going to take their chances grabbing something out of the chest before they make the dash out of the collapsing temple?
I'm good.
With my helm of underwater and my ring of swimming, I am turning like into an aquatic.
Aquaman.
Aquaman.
Aquadorf.
Gotta wear
Yeah.
orange and green, man.
Man from Atlantis.
Yeah, now if you wore like plate mail armor, those would be really useful to. Oh, not really useful. I mean, they're useful to you anyways, but that would be very helpful for you.
Yeah, because this lets me swim at like full base speed.
Alrighty, so you guys
Time to beat
took.
Pete.
Yeah, you guys took your 30, 20 seconds to grab a couple of things that you thought looked valuable to you, stuffed them in your backpacks, threw them in a sheath, or throw them in your cloak or your robes, and turned and rushed out of the temple. As soon as you run through the main temple, you can see the pillars with the gargoyles just tumbling and crashing to the ground. And you just get out of the main temple before it crashes behind you, and you hear this, and you not just hear it, but you feel an explosion of energy that you later will learn that was the closure of all the elemental nodes. You make your way through the upper levels and rushing out. On the way out, you hear the sounds of other creatures or persons dying. You hear them getting crushed in the fall of the temple itself. And as you rush out the entrance, a cloud of dirt just explodes behind you, and you turn around, and the temple, the whole temple itself, the walls and the roof collapse in on itself, and all the gargoyles with it. And when it does, the clouds sort of part and a light shines down, and it seems like you guys have defeated the Temple of Elemental Evil after 2 years.
We broke it. We broke the
broke
temple.
I'll grab my buddy Jareth and put our backs to the temple, and I'll take a selfie.
Nice.
Take a selfie. He busts out his dwarven selfie stick and
I get my Flintstones camera with a little bird inside, and he chisels out a picture for us.
we should go find an ancient red dragon somewhere.
Absolutely, just rush up and attack, especially right before you guys take a rest. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
That's right.
So all of you guys get that for just completing. I'm going to give some individual awards here in a little bit, but that was 100,000 for defeating the temple itself and surviving through the whole thing. I'm going to assume you guys are going back to Hamlet. When you do, you're greeted with cheers, because everybody can tell that the temple has been defeated, because the cloud that has been covering that side of the realm for a while has been just clouded and darkened, and it is no longer there. And they greet you with large parties, and the streets are alive with everybody dancing, and bards are playing music, and kids are out playing, and all the birds are singing and everything. And so you guys get the chance to rest for as long as you'd like. And so what I'd like to do is ask you guys if you have any questions on specific things that, and this is stuff that's behind the scenes that you may have a question about. Is there something that you didn't understand, or a question that you had about what happened, that something that you weren't sure on, and you just want to know now? Let me know.
So did they open a Stargate?
Yeah, that's kind of what it was. And in fact, Linnea is a person from Stargate. You remember when
the Destroyer of Worlds?
Yes. Linnea, the Destroyer of Worlds. Yes, that was her. She was modeled after her. Not exactly the same, but yeah.
Does nobody else feel like does nobody else feel like Ashley Williams when he got back from supposedly getting the Necronomicon? I want to go home like in the deal. I feel like we screwed that up, but yeah. So I mean, Corathane's definitely going back to the Grey Elf Council to research this. He's not partaking in any parties in Hamlet. He's got a long trek and a lot of reading to do.
So I will say that Vecna himself was not really involved in the temple cult itself. They were using his power to basically empower the nodes and keep them locked where they were. And when you guys took him out, you had to basically either that or come up with another way to shut down the temple. When you guys didn't really look into any other ways, you broke the prison that was, draining his abilities to power them. But it did free him in that when you did that. So he is released. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing for you guys, you don't know right now. But he is free.
I assume it's a bad thing,
Yeah.
but not in the short term.
Right?
Not, at least not right now. But like I said, that he actually defeated Zuckerman, so that was a good thing. He got rid of her. But that Vecna is out of prison. He's looking to become more powerful than he is, and being that he is the most powerful wizard in Orith, you think that probably involves some extraplanar things. But anybody else have any specific questions on anything that we might have done through the whole thing that you guys like? I really want to know why this.
Well, I definitely want to know. I thought the big bad guy in the temple was supposed to be Zuckmoy, but you're saying that Zuckmoy was already dead, that this guy killed Zuckmoy.
Yeah. And the reason you know that Zuckmoy was the big bad is because we ran this before. Your character didn't really know. You had heard about it, but you also knew from your resurrection when you were discussing those things with whomever that being was, that he told you that Zuckmoy was not the person behind the temple. And it was, in fact,
Felrith?
No, Falrith and the other guy starts with an S. Hold on, I'll tell you.
Sam?
The guy lobbing fireballs. Right?
The guys that was throwing fireballs in your face, left and right.
Yeah.
Oh, that guy.
I hate that guy.
Waldor?
No, it started with an S. I can't remember. My brain is Sinshock. Yeah, the one that Linnea, that was her. Sort
Yeah.
of. And you remember when I said that the guy, whenever we were the Twitch person that said they brought in an ally, and I said it was because it was the opposite of his was paler. That actually wasn't it. Whenever they did that, I used that as a reason to bring in Linnea, because she really does feel like she owed you guys some help, and she was there trying to figure out how to break to keep her free. And whenever she heard the battle, she came, and the person that did that on Twitch just kind of made it a little easier for me to do that. So that was why she was there and why she stabbed him in the back.
After we had killed the magic carpet.
Yes.
The rug. Yeah.
It was it's actually a curtain. This same curtain is used in like G3. I never really thought it was that great, but what do you know?
I don't know, man. Based on what you said it did to that other monster, the troll.
Yeah, it sucks. It definitely sucks. It has like a huge magic resist, and it will really jack you up if you don't save versus poison.
6 times around.
Yes. Yes, 6 times around.
Guy
And it
gets
has like
poisons.
24 attacks, and but it only could do 6 at one person at a time. So if you
Only
had,
only 6 on one.
Only.
Yeah.
So it can hit 4 people with 6 attacks.
Be
yes,
curtain for that
each.
person.
Oh, that's bad.
And,
That
then,
was
and like I
still
said,
bad.
if you fail, you're fucked. Because in 1 to 4 rounds, you're basically dead. And what it does is it instantly shrivels whatever body part that it hits. So if it hits you in the chest, you're dead instantly. But if it
Oh,
hits you in
man.
the arm, your arm shrivels up and it's unusable. But within 1 to 4 rounds after that,
All right,
Yeah.
so
Lucky
the rune that stole armor from us, what was that?
you stole armor. It was a really dumb thing that I left in because it was in the original module. I hated it. But there was a secret door that you guys completely just never discovered. And there was a pair of werewolves. And that glass, that mirror thing, is a artifact level legendary thing. Again, don't ask me why. Frank Mincer put this in there. That made the things on the other side of it look like angels. So you guys thought they were angels, saying, "Oh, demon shit, empower them and make them more powerful." And as soon as you walk out the room, they open the little secret door, grab your shit, close the door, and come back and it's gone. The last time we ran that, I completely ruined that room and something else. I was not doing that. It seemed just really, I don't know. It was a goofy.
It seems out of place.
Yeah, and that's what I thought the first time. I was trying to run this close to the original, and except for the fact that I got rid of Zekroy and used Vecna. And that was mainly because when we did this last time, the years ago, it was Zekmoy, and I wanted to at least change that. But like the other thing that I feel was really contrived was the room with jackal wares fighting the 2 people on the stone, and that room was just really dumb. And I changed that up the previous time that we ran it too, but I left it in this time.
I'm being told that the music is too loud.
Yeah,
People are having trouble hearing.
I just saw that stern up. I'm sorry, I've turned it down. Yeah, it was. That was the safe music. It was just really loud.
The room that had the griffin and the ogre magi and the
The statue room.
yeah, was there any circumstance where those would come to life?
No, but they were definitely all trapped or cursed in some fashion. Each one of them.
Like if you cast dispel magic, would they have come to life?
No, they wouldn't have come to life. No. Some of the items may have not functioned for a brief period, but most of the items that each of them had were cursed. Like I think one of the spear that the giant had was a backbiter, so when you used it in combat, and when you attack somebody, it would stab you in the back, and then you couldn't get rid of it. There was one useful item, like the chest that was in front of the dragon, was a lemons. It's basically like a chest of holding.
Is he choppy to you guys?
I remember the chest. It had some kind of rune on there.
Yeah.
No, Smitty.
No, nobody's choppy.
The runes on the he just disconnected. The runes on the chest itself were the commands to make it do various things, and to shrink, get smaller. Like you could have said something, and it would have made the chest. You could throw everything in it like a bag of holding, and then say the word, and it would shrink down to the size of a box, and you could have threw it in a backpack. So that's kind of what it was. And I'm going to reveal this whole, if you guys want to look at, we can go through each of the maps so you guys can see all the, I can remove the masking. I think I can. So, I'm going to share.
Oh wow! Look at all that shit.
So you remember when I was talking about the drawing, the way that it looked? You see the way the chests are set, and it's supposed to look like a skull.
Yep.
So, if you zoom out, you can see There is one side has nodes. The nodes on the right, the portals on the right side are the nodes, and the ones on the right or left are actual elemental. If you went to those, you would have been fucked. You would have been stuck in the elemental plane of fire and probably immediately died, except for maybe Finial and whoever else had resistance to fire. But the ones on the right were the nodes where they weren't like that. And that's level. That's the 4th level. Let me bring up the others. This mask. Share it. This is the map for level 3. The upper section is the area where Zuctmoy would have been. This is where the pit to
I
the
remember.
the hellscape was. This is where you guys came in from the nodes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I remember the treasure over there to the west of the pit. That's where we used the phase or the stone phasing ring or whatever. And but I was curious, like what was to the north of there? Because we went around that corner and it was like there was earth or something there, or dirt. It smelled like earth, and then we never went back there to go
Yeah,
see
that
what was.
was this section right here, and this is what you're talking about. Smell like dirt. That section was like when Zuctmoy was around, she was the giant fungus, so she would go in there and just kind of, my assumption is it's just like she ate or drew nutrients from it or something. I'm guessing. This room right here, every piece of furniture was some kind of slime ooze or something. Like the carpet was yellow mold. The little stools, the green stools were green slimes. There was the only thing that wasn't was the throne thing right there.
I'm glad we didn't go back there. But speaking of mushrooms, who was that lady who was in the mushroom room when we went through there that escorted us through?
She was Alamia, and she was using. Alamias have this ability to disguise themselves, and she did. And in fact, each time you guys touched her, she would drain wisdom from each of you. I think everybody but Jalaman. I don't think Bjarni was there at the time when we were playing, but I think everybody but Jalaman resisted. No, Jalaman was the only one that resisted. Everybody else didn't, I think. So each one of you guys were drained wisdom. You didn't know it because she didn't drain enough of it, but that's basically what when I said she seemed kind of weak and her leg was not working as well, and when you guys whenever you were done, she kind of walked off and didn't seem to be as. That was why she was draining your power. Let's see. There was in this room the Umber Hulk that fought you guys here. There was supposed to be an Umber Hulk here, but Falranth pulled him out and used him to fight you guys when you guys were in your.
Oh yeah, that was like it was a chamber down there underneath, like a prison cell kind of thing.
That was where they kept the Umber Hulk. There was a couple of magic. There was a wand of lightning in the dirt somewhere that you guys didn't dig around or find.
Was there any other fat loots we didn't find anywhere?
That one comes to mind because it was recent. But
well, there was the 2 chests that we didn't get.
Yeah, the 2 chests. One of you guys did get the wand from Sinshok, yeah, you got the wand from him, so you have a wand of fire. But there were other items in the chests. One of them was a wand of frost. I think another one was a mineral and metal detection, and some other things, mostly money. But those 2 things come to mind. Does somebody actually have the wand on them? I think Frankie probably snatched it. Do you still have that?
Yeah, I have the wand of fire.
Did I ID that?
I don't believe so.
I will, and since we're not going to play for a couple of months, I'm not going to make you guys go through all that, but I will find it in your inventory and identify it. You also have a ring that wasn't identified that is now. Ring of feather falling. Oh, and a ring of protection +2. Wand of oh, there's the other wand. The wand of fire is now identified.
The wand of flashlight.
Yeah. You have a wand of illumination? Where'd you get that?
Yeah. It was something you gave me at character creation. One of the random
gotcha, and
things
you never
I
used.
ended up with.
Gotcha.
Nah.
Yeah,
Elf.
Alright. So that was level 3. Let's unless you guys have any more questions, I'll do level 2. I will now hide or remove all the masking as soon as this comes up. That mask. Oh, there's the entire.
We explored a lot of this level.
Yes, you did. You guys did a really detailed exploration of that one.
And
So
so
yeah, you
those
guys-
portals took you to the nodes, right?
From level 3, yeah, there's no portals in level 2, which is.
Oh,
the
what
one
was
I
up with the
showed.
army? What was that about? The zombie
The-
army or whatever.
The one in the water temple?
Yes.
So that was just the temple of the water temple cultists using their prepping because they knew you guys were attacking the temple. They basically just pulled in a lot of zombies from the the oceans in to defend the temple, and that's why they were there. Because you guys came through and attacked them, you didn't kill them all, and so that's what they did.
Yeah, there were a bunch in there. And we didn't mess with them. We had fought some, and we, earlier in a previous fight in the air elemental area, and we knew they were much tougher than normal zombies. So when we saw all the, basically an army of them in that room, we were like, yeah, screw this. But why didn't we ever encounter them again? Why didn't they actually use them?
Because they were just protecting the water temple. That was
Okay, gotcha.
Each temple, like the fire and the water and the air and the earth, they were all kind of each fighting each other, for dominance. And so whenever you defeated the fire temple, the water temple's like, okay, now we're gonna go beat their ass into submission and make them work for us. The air temple, they were already dominant over. The water was dominant over the air. The earth one was basically fighting between those 3 different ones. But it was something that if you guys really wanted to, you could have interacted with each of the cultists in those temples and had them fight each other and worked with them to do that. But you guys never really got that deep. One of the things that the guys in the Twitch is saying that the changing up the nodes, having a boss in each was a nice concept. There actually is it's somewhat like that. The temple itself, and that was one of the things I changed. Instead of having each of those bosses, and they weren't really bosses like I did them like elemental bosses. One of the things I didn't really like about the Temple of Elemental Evil is they didn't really have a lot of elemental things. I mean, even the mobs and some of the elemental zones didn't seem to really be elemental to me. So what I did is I changed it to where the cultist summoned up the princes of those elements or an avatar of them, and then gave them the ring to keep that node open so they could draw energy from it, and then they sent them in. And then when you guys went through, you found that particular avatar, prince's avatar, and you fought them and you took the ring, and so in effect weakened the node. And so when you freed Vecna, it closed the node down, is what it did. That wasn't part of the actual original adventure. The original adventure had each of those rooms where you guys found those princes. There was a gem that went into the the orb of golden death, which was the gold skull that you see in like the cinematic from the Temple of Elemental Evil video game. That you would put into that and then take over the world, I guess. And then lastly, we have our level 1.
Yeah, we explored the shit out of level 1 too.
I was about to say you guys probably uncovered it all. May have been some areas that you didn't, but by and large, I think you did.
I mean,
So
did
do
we
you guys-
defeat any of the elemental temples or whatever? Did we destroy
You guys
any
did
of them?
fire. You definitely did fire. You did earth as well. I think you guys went back later
Yeah.
on and you did earth. You never completely closed down the water temple, but you guys did. I don't think you did the water or the air. You closed down their nodes, which basically cut out their power base. So, but the water node is where you guys got thrown in, or the water elemental
Yeah.
temple is where you
That's
guys
where
got
we
thrown
went
into
in.
the nodes. Yeah.
Yeah.
They threw me and everybody went after me.
So, any questions?
So you guys started this 2 years ago? Is that what I heard?
Yeah, something
Yeah.
like that.
Because I've been playing since December, I think.
Yeah. Do you remember what particular point you came in?
It was right before we got sent to the water node by that
Okay.
tentacle thing
Okay.
that grabbed Grimlock and tossed him in.
Yeah.
And then we all kind of followed him in. I think I started the week before that.
So one of the things that I changed, another one of the things I changed up is how each temple that had like like the elemental fire, water, earth, and air, they each had a portal to their node. In the original module, those don't exist. You have to go down to level 3. You have to break into Zectomoy's area, or go down to level 4 and go right and not left to get to those. And the problem with that is by the time you get to that, I mean, you guys even did it in this one. Instead, when you went down to the 4th level, you went straight into the main temple. And then you went straight through the middle, which is where the big bad guys are. That in this case was God, what's his name? I've already forgotten his name. Sinchok. I keep forgetting his name. But he was at that point. By that time, you guys had killed everybody else but him. In any case, you guys went straight down the middle, and that was where everything happened. And you didn't go off to the sides. And had you at that point you could have went in and went there and did all the things that the original module had you set to do. It just, when I did that last time, you guys totally bypassed it again. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to make it part of the going through the whole thing because I wanted to see how it worked out. And I don't know. I don't know if I like the way it worked. But I mean, in each case, you guys, when you guys went to that node, you guys almost made a beeline every time for the big bad there anyway. So you guys didn't spend a huge amount of time in each one.
Yeah, well, every fight we had in those damn elemental dungeons was a pain in the ass.
Yes.
I concur.
The fire one was the worst.
All of them were hard.
The fire one sucked. Yeah. But
Yeah.
They were all bad, but the fire one was the worst.
Yeah, well, the fire one had the sort of added benefit of the area itself was toxic. Basically, you were taking heat damage everywhere. You know,
Yeah.
that boss monster we fought, just being around him, you took heat damage. It was like just in there, you kind of felt like it was just a matter of time before you died anyway. So it's like, man, we got to get out immediately.
How many actual character deaths were there over the 2 years? Like, I know we had
Man,
The ooze.
I'm pretty sure that Grimlock died at least 3 times. At least 3.
I died
Yeah.
twice.
No, I mean like permanent character deaths. Can't come back.
The Paladin, Auric
Paladin.
or
Yeah,
whatever
the
his name was,
ooze,
he
the ooze,
definitely
yeah.
got vaporized.
That was really the only permanent that I can think of. I think everybody else, they used, resurrection or rod of resurrection or something and brought them back. There was probably at least 10 deaths total that required a resurrection of some sort. That's
Well,
I'm
we
guessing
used up
maybe
a
just
whole
one.
rod of resurrection.
Yeah, well, keep in mind it wasn't, it didn't have 50 charges either. It was like I think 23 or 22 when you guys got it, which is still a lot. That's why I'm saying, because I remember like Parafel and Garten getting resurrected,
Yeah,
and then the next
that
week
cost a
Parafel
lot.
died again,
Yes.
or one of them died again. So
Yeah, I think I died twice, unless you count the time where the demon just finger of death me or whatever. I don't. That to me didn't really count.
It did and it didn't. It should, and in fact, if you read the spell that he used, it should have. You shouldn't have been able to come back, because if you get finger of death and don't save, technically you're not supposed to be able to be resurrected or reincarnated or anything. You're not supposed to be brought back. But the fact that Pelor was the one that was bringing it back, and the other fact that it was 2 demigods fighting each other, it was supposed to be mostly for effect, not for it's supposed to be cutscene sort of thing. And it's written in the adventure like that. Although it's supposed to be Cuthbert and Hughes fighting each other, but I don't like Cuthbert anyway. So
What's your problem
That's
with
what it is.
Cuthbert?
He's a lame deity. He's like a stuck up. I don't know. I don't know. He doesn't seem like a nice person. Whereas Pelor is the epitome of nice, lawful good. And Cuthbert is lawful neutral. He's like really strict and the kind of like smack your hand with a ruler top guy. And plus, nobody was following St. Cuthbert. You guys had somebody that was a priest of Pelor and somebody that had been rezzed multiple times by somebody of Pelor. So I'm trying to think of anything else that I had planned that we didn't do.
So who was Sinshok?
He was a wizard that was a follower of Hughes. He was working for Hughes, not for Zuctamoy. In fact, that chair that they put Vecna in was in the original module was used to communicate with Zuctamoy, because she's supposed to be imprisoned in that section that's separate on the level 3 where the sub node little area is, the purple area with the big pentagram and all that. She's supposed to be locked in there unless you guys break seals or take long enough to where they break seals on their own. And that chair is used to communicate with her, but he doesn't really know where she's at. They can't really tell. But his goal is not really to free her so much as to do what Hughes wanted him to do. And so he didn't really care that Hughes died. In fact, that was why Sinshok and Falrinth and Koss all kind of worked together to like, all right, let's do this on our own and kick out all these guys, and we'll do our own thing, and we'll all become gods, or whatever it is they wanted to do. But that's what ended up happening.
So who was the other wizard then? The one that
he was actually the what's the word I want to use? The counselor, or the guy that Thrommel consulted with. Whenever they initially assaulted the temple, Falrinth and Thrommel and his forces were together. But whenever they went in, Falrinth turned evil and worked with Koss and Vecna and Sinshok, and they captured Thrommel, and then they fought off Zuctamoy, and then they tortured Thrommel trying to get some information from him. And eventually they realized that they couldn't keep him any longer without you guys freeing him, so they killed him and brought him back as a vampire. Now, I will say that also was changed. The original adventure, when we ran it the first time, I did it like it was written. This time I didn't. In the original adventure, there is a casket with an invisible thing in there that you can't see. That is also, if you can see it, it looks like a vampire, but it's not. It's an illusion of a vampire. It's Thromal and Stasis. And back then when we played it a long time ago, that's when Tony killed him. It was actually just a human in Stasis. But this time I was like, you know what, fuck it. I thought that was a really contrived and dumb idea. And I thought it was better that they would bring him back as a vampire, so that if you do get in there, he's going to try to kill you. And he did try. He almost killed it. He almost succeeded with Solomon, at least.
They drained me.
Yeah.
He almost killed Jolliman on our second encounter with him, because Jolliman rolled the wrong way like 12 times in a row.
I got feared way back there, yeah.
He like right, left, right, left, right, left. It's like this amazing combination that got him directly back to where the vampire was. It's like, really, man?
Well, you guys also learned how to kill a vampire too.
You could say he killed Jareth too.
Now I have
in
a
a way.
mace of disruption, so I'm ready for a vampire.
Jareth killed himself.
Yeah. Well,
Spectacular fashion.
Yeah. That was a big door.
In fairness, I thought he was going to blow through the door.
Yeah. And he could the I think the weapon could only go through like half inch, or I can't remember. I'd have to go look, but I assumed the door was like 2.5, 3 inches thick because it's a prison door bound by metal and all this other stuff. That was when before I even looked to see how far it would go through, I decided it's 3 inches thick, and then I went and looked and I was like, oh, it's thicker than it can go through. It was either going to hit Grimlock or bounce back and hit Jareth. Because
I was on the other side of the door.
Yeah. I really figured it was going to come back and get us all.
Well, I did the ricochet. I've been, yeah. Trying to think if there was anything else. One of the things I wanted to do with, and this was when Luke was playing. That was what got me using the idea of ironwood. But I don't know where. I was reading a book or something, and they mentioned ironwood. And in my head, it just triggered, oh, that sounds like a cool weapon that you could use against rust monsters, because it wouldn't actually be metal. And then I decided I was going to make a weapon, and that's why I gave him like. He eventually got that sword that was made of ironwood, but of course he left. But he was going to be like you guys' contact with the druid that was in the temple, but that never worked out because he left. He quit playing.
what's up
There
next
is
for these characters?
that I haven't really decided yet. I think what I may do is I'm kind of burned out right now on big, huge adventure, long-term thing. So what I'm thinking I'm going to do is do smaller, non-campaign spanning stuff. Like there is, I've got the Lost Caverns of Soskamp already done. It's called S4 if you ever ran the old AD&D stuff. I don't think we did back in the day with Rob and Brian. At least I didn't with you guys. But it's something that we can do, probably in a month or two, maybe a little longer. It's a little bigger than normal, but it's like 2 levels deep, but I'm going to try to start doing that so we can run it for a month or two and then take a couple of weeks off, just to see how that goes. I like the thought of doing these long campaign spanning, adventures like Timba, but it just like after a while, I mean, even Charles was like, I don't even remember why we're doing this because it's been 2 years, and I get that. I understand. It's really hard to just like keep in your head, what's going on with your daily life plus all this kind of stuff. So
Yeah, also like mega dungeons or whatever don't lead a lot of like narrative opportunities, so it's hard to like tell players what the hell is going on when they're new or even a new character, creating motivation for them.
yeah. I mean, a lot of the stuff I'm telling you that I wanted to tell you guys after we were done, just so you can kind of understand some of it, because like the way the the elemental temples themselves within the temple fought against each other. You guys really never discovered any of that. A lot of stuff that was just, the way we play. It's just not something that really came into the game at all.
So, why don't you, real quick, just kind of tell us what would have happened had we chose the other adventure?
What do you mean?
Well, had we decided to kill Vecna,
Or attempt
how
to
would
kill
that
them.
have went down?
Well, you certainly could have tried. Right off the bat, I will say he has magic resist. He also has stone skin. He also has all 4 of those rings. One of which is a wall of force. So
One's a wall of fire.
He got wall of fire, wall of stone, all of that stuff. He could fly at will. He could invisibility at will, and that's just from those rings. You don't know what his spells were, but my thought, initially was, as soon as he got attacked, he was going to throw up a wall of force in a circle around him, and if that enclosed one of you, whoever was in there was probably going to die. Now, had it been Jareth, and he had not used the time stop thing, it might have been a little sketchy, but he had already used that, so more than likely he would have probably, I don't know what would happen with him and Jareth. That would have had to play out, because I don't know how Jareth would have played it, but the initial idea was, just to throw up, wall of force immediately. And as far as I know, you guys would not have been able to get through that. And by the time you did, he probably would have teleported out. Mm-hmm. And you would have garnered a really nasty enemy.
And no fat loop.
Yeah, and right now he's just like, he's already forgot about who you are. Probably will never remember you. Off to do his own thing. But he does remember Parthane, and I'm going to bring this up because it is something that's a little secret. But Parthane, if you want to tell him, you can.
Oh, about the demon?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, to be fair, like, Horathane was only using the scroll in search of knowledge. He wasn't, like, maliciously trying to release any kind of demon. And when it happened, it was like, well, this sucks. I gotta deal with this now. And so he just tried to be brave and deal with it. And then, I would assume with a 20 intelligence, his knowledge, at least in like negotiating with demons, was probably at least existent. So I just kind of rolled with that and was like, well, tell you what, I'll do something for you, you do something for me, and we'll forget this happened. Knowing full well he wasn't gonna forget it. So anyway, so the demon during that encounter kept talking to me. I was gonna proceed like harder with the event, but the demon actually talked me out of it. So guess you guys can thank the demon for that.
The one thing I will mention, and it would be because somebody like Jareth, or maybe Parafel would have noticed, and eventually you all would have noticed. At some point, Corathane has 2 shadows wherever he's at.
Yeah, so
That's a bad sign.
Yeah, I mean, I used the demon to bring somebody back to life. I'm sure you guys can figure out who that was. So
Somebody who died by electricity.
Right.
There's still some open stories to that we could go through. I haven't really decided on some of them, but like I said, my general thought process right now, as far as what I'm looking forward to do in the future, is maybe S4 to see how that goes. Because, like I said, I don't recall us doing that back in the day when we were kids. Some of you guys may have done it since, or may have read it, but I'd like to do that just to see how it goes. It's kind of one of those, what do they call those type of adventures? It's pretty.
One shot.
Well, I mean, it's not a one shot. I mean, it's definitely smaller than what I've typically run. Like, I mean, we ran pools of radiance in this back to back, and so those are not really small. I mean, it would be considered sort of a one shot, but it'll take longer than one time. But I think what I'm looking for is they call them funhouse adventures. At least that's the way like White Plume Mountain is called. It's kind of like that in that the dungeon is not really doesn't make I don't want to say it doesn't make sense, but it's not logically plotted. The way things that are in one may not make sense to you.
Like it's not themed as much.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, like in White Plume Mountain, there's like each room has this weird thing, this weird theme, or this thing that's been there for just waiting for you guys to walk in and fight it, this sort of thing. So it's kind of like that. It's not as bad as White Plume Mountain, but there are some rooms that are like make you think, that's weird. But by and large, it's a challenge. It's something for you to go through and see if you can make it, and it's I think it'll be fun. Got some different monsters you guys haven't fought before. So my plan is to try to, over the next month, I've got my new machine sitting right over here that I'm going to try to get all this stuff working on the same. I didn't want to.
So you're not going to run Night Below as a test?
No. In fact, I'm not sure I'm ever going to run Night Below. I want to because I've built it and it sounds cool, but it is a long-term thing.
Right. I'm definitely incorporating it into my Wednesday game.
It's interesting, and again, they do something with the big bad at the end that I think is kind of. I think the big bads should be the things that they use as, and I don't want to spoil too much because we may run it, but they've got two. They've got one big bad at the end that just seems really dumb to me. Like Zuctamore didn't make a lot of sense to me. I think it's better that they use the guys that are working in it against the big bad, and you probably know who I'm talking about. I think they make a better. It makes more sense for them to do what they're going to do. But so I may end up changing it and do that. But I think the adventure as a whole is kind of interesting. It has a lot more challenges that are more. The monsters are a lot more than just tank and spank sort of things.
Right.
They got some cool spells, and they a lot more powers. And there's also these rooms that you can go in way before you should and get totally fucked on the thing. So
I think if I was gonna do anything with it, though, I would definitely change the rock elves to drow, because they seem to obviously fit, and there's none in there, which is kind of a missed opportunity.
There's a couple.
Yeah. But it's like.
But they're supposed to be good. I mean, I guess you could have a good race of them.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't. Is anything in the Underdark good though?
Well, the rock. Well, there are actually the gnomes and the rock, and they're supposed to be the guys that you kind of. That's basically your fallback positions when you're down there.
Right.
Those two.
Yeah.
But not initially, and I think maybe at some point I do want to run B2. I finished that up a long time ago. B2 is going to be a first level adventure sort of thing, so we'll be able to start off with some noobs and run through it. I don't, it's probably about the same duration as I think S4 would be, because it's not just a simple one level dungeon. It's extensive, but it's not a campaign spanning. You'll get to like third or fourth level at most. sort of thing. So at some point we may run that. But there's a lot of other people that have come up with some things. I never ran the stuff from that Sword of the Dales, Spider Hunt, and all that other stuff.
Oh, those are real fun, actually, and they're quick. You
And
knock
I would
those
like
out
to
in
do
like
those.
weeks.
Now those are definitely along the lines of like 1 or 2 months of play, and we can take a break. There's also Haunted Halls of Evening Star that I've always wanted to run. I kind of like that. So there's a lot of stuff that I've, most of those are low-level adventures. So what I would like to do is try to kind of switch back and forth between new guys and high-level guys, and just kind of, because the high-level adventures typically are pretty draining because they require a lot of prep, and the fights are going to take a lot longer. Whereas like in a low-level adventure, we could do like 10 fights in one night, or in high-level stuff, you can run like 2 fights in one night, depending on how many casters are in it. So. Anybody else have any questions?
Yeah,
I'm
when's the
good.
next game?
Yeah, just let me know when we're gonna pick it back up in a month or two.
Yeah, I'd love to start a game with you guys at the start, as opposed to like coming in at the ass end.
So what would you guys would you guys like to continue playing these right the next time, or would you like to take a break, do some low-level stuff, and then move to, after we finish that one, switch back to the high-level stuff, and then come back to the low-level? Which would you prefer? And actually, I think I can do a vote. Let's remember how to do this.
Oh yeah, that / vote.
So if you want to do your high-level things, how does this vote thing even work?
I think you just / vote, and then so you just tell us what it is. You can do like
Okay.
/ vote a topic. Like that. There you go.
There you go. High level first. You want high level first, or what? Or okay, vote. There you go. So you can check off your little box.
Oh, I see.
You can exit or check it. If you don't want to do one, put an X in it. If you want to do the other, check it. The X is a no and the check is a yes. Well, I'm assuming when you vote yes to the high level one, you're going to vote no to the low level one, vice versa.
I only voted for one, so I put a check mark in the low level one first.
So somebody's going to have to break the tie there, guys.
Split right down the middle. Who's going to be the one?
I can make the decision if somebody else
Yeah.
doesn't.
I mean, I'm not really partial, to be honest. Like I would just like to start a campaign, whether it's low level, short, long, whatever, from the beginning. It's been, so long for me as a player since I've gotten to actually play in a game from the start.
There shouldn't be a tie. There's 7 of us.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
somebody's not voting.
Somebody's not voting. Somebody's probably AFK or something.
Is Brian not here?
Yeah, that's also
Stepped
dumb. Like,
away.
the DM should be able to see who the voters are. That's
No.
like, it's
Doesn't
fine that
show.
we can't see, but
Yeah, it doesn't tell me. It just has circles with checks.
Yeah,
That's why I did
yeah,
the ready
you-
check.
right.
Well, I
Rob,
will
can you text Brian?
Maybe it's Robbie that didn't vote.
Oh man.
No, I clicked.
No, Brian's
Okay.
not here.
So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 people, and so Parafel is not actually here, is he? Says he is. Must be he's not. He's AFK. So, if he doesn't vote by the time we end, by the time we quit, I will make the decision. But I will tell you right off the bat, my preference is to run B2, low level stuff.
Okay.
So it'd be
Just to
all new
kind of-
characters for that, right?
Yep.
Yeah, you will. You will.
Okay.
And we'll have a 0 session to where we all just kind of sit around and decide. And one of the things I am going to change is specialization. more than likely I will change the rate at which you can gain that, especially double specialization and the attacks per round and that sort of stuff, because it's with strength modifiers and various things, it really makes it difficult to challenge one person versus the others. So more than likely I will change how I do that. I haven't decided yet, but I suspect that I'm going to at least limit it until you can't specialize until you hit 5th, which would be the level that you would get your next proficiency, weapon proficiency slot. So you wouldn't be able to double specialize at first level. And the attack per
Did I do
round-
that?
What? You double specialize and mastery and all that.
Yeah, but when I was level 1, is that what you said?
You were at least double specialized, yes.
Okay.
And it's not anything you did that makes it's making this change. It's just overall it makes it changes the way that I have to have. I can't just like throw a monster down without assuming that someone with that sort of ability is going to be there, because it really it totally changes the entire combat. If I did it the way the rule says, which is you would get your normal attack and then at the end of the round you get your next attack, maybe that would be better. That way the monster would at least get its action before it was cut down, and maybe that's what I need to do. But I would have to code in some ability or some way for the automation to handle that, because that would be a pain in the ass to do otherwise. So I don't know, but I know I'm going to do something with the specialization at least. At the very least, it'll be delayed until 5th level before you can double specialize, or maybe single specialize. I haven't decided. We'll see. In any case, fighters will still have they get the innate ability to do more damage on a crit, that sort of thing. I've actually been thinking about giving that to thieves as well, because they tend to seem to be on the weak side, which is also one of the reasons that I created the weapon that I did for Jareth.
The sword of wasted time. I was telling James that's what I termed it as, and I would always refer to it as that when you and Jareth would leave the chat room and go to a different chat to discuss it. I said, "Oh, it's the sword of wasted time again." And so you took Frankie down in the channel before, and that's when I enlightened James as to what we nicknamed the sword.
Yeah, I can see why.
And there was a period of learning to where he had to figure out how to apply because it has a lot of the sword. It's basically like a sword of defense, in that you can use its bonuses to defense or attack, and you do that each round. And once he figured out, I mean, the last couple of sessions we've had, he was really quick on how to do that. We didn't have to walk through any of that. And there was also some times where I had coded it wrong too, so he got all that right.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to use now.
So initial plan is B2 then. I haven't really decided when we'll start. It'll be at least a month. I'll post in Discord when we're gonna play.
Yeah, I will not be playing a fighter for that.
What was our vote? Sorry, I had to step away. So
Okay,
So
so
you
if you
decided-
look in chat text, you can see 2 lines where it says high level first, low level first. So what that means is our next game, we're not going to play for like a month and a half, somewhere around there. But when we come back, we're going to run either B2 or S4. Both of them probably will take the same amount of time to run, which I suspect will be maybe 2 months, maybe less, depending on how quickly you guys go through them. Then we'll take a break after each one of them. But the vote is for, do you want to do S4 first, which would be high level these guys, or do you want to do new guys to take a break from high level guys and do B2 first? So that's what that vote is for. All right, so low level, we're good.
Yeah.
So we all know Brian voted low level.
Yep.
All right, low level it
And are we
Um,
going to change it to where people are only playing one character at a time?
Please God, yes.
well, honestly, that's been up to Brian, to whether he wanted to run both. It may be, I don't know why he's been running both. I don't know which one he likes the best. I've been trying to figure that out. I don't
Well, I
know.
remember why he brought in Parafel, right? And the
Yes.
reason why was because we had no caster that played with any regularity. So he's like, well, I have this character, and because we always found ourselves needing a wizard, and we never had one because Bill is not here often, and so that's what Brian offered to help us by bringing in Parafel, and ever since then he's been playing both of them.
That was it. We needed some spell casting.
Yeah, and
so,
that I understand. I just didn't know which one he preferred.
Oh, either one. Play anything except the bard.
Anything except for Bard.
Yeah, I will play any character except for bard. Not ever going to happen. That's Rob's bag.
That's Robbie's bag. Now you're thinking about the old Bards
Yeah.
too, man. Not even the new ones.
I was
All
gifted
right.
the player's handbook for the 5th edition D&D, and they actually made bards like pretty cool in there.
Well, the 2E Bard is actually pretty decent too. And in fact, I think they're probably a lot, and I know they're a lot alike with the 5e version. It's kind of a mix of a thief and a multi-class fighter mage, or thief mage is what it's like. You get sort of thief abilities, sort of caster abilities. You guys, go ahead, sir.
Oh, I'd say later on they can like choose. I think at like 3rd level in the 5th they can choose like different paths. So they can be like path of valor, path of the warrior. So they can have a couple different specialized things they can do.
Absolutely, yeah. I know when I played 5th edition, I played a druid. Although I ended up playing a druid when we were doing this long ass underground dungeon, and I totally was disgusted with the game because of that. But they did have some interesting specializations, and I think you can do something like that with kits in 2E. Like there is a druid that has a shape change sort of kit that does the same thing like the Druid of the Moon, I think, was with the 5th edition version of the shape-changing druid, where you got it at really a lot lower level than you did normally. If you play a druid, you don't get that till like 7th. But if you do the kit, you can get it a lot earlier. It's obviously not as powerful at lower levels, but eventually you'll get up to that. So yeah, the Bard is a lot. The 2E Bard is a lot like the 5e Bard. So if you like the 5e Bard and you want to do that in B2, there is one in 2E you can look at. I have awarded each of you guys some individual XPs and various other things. So go ahead and look and see after you apply them if you have enough to level up. If you do, we can go ahead and you guys can do that. And that way, when I export you guys for whenever we do whatever we do later for high level stuff, you guys will all be set. I don't know if any of you guys are leveling up.
I definitely do.
I went up in cleric. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I did not.
Borgin
not.
is about 8,000 short.
Give you,
I have 9 short.
9?
just
9?
9.
Well, let me read that again. I don't know. I can't do math right.
Yeah, Parafel
Oh.
needs almost 40,000. I mean,
Dude, you're 10k
Garden.
over.
Garden
the level.
needs about.
Oh, I'm looking at the wrong line. Never mind.
The one below. You got 120k off, and you need 110k. So you definitely
Right.
need-
Yeah.
I I'm guessing, did Parafel level?
Oh no, Parafel needs another 24 grand, and Garden needs like 40 grand.
Oh wow, yeah, you're 7th. Did I not give you 10? So, which one do you consider your main, Brian?
Well, I rolled up
Garden?
Garden for this. Yeah, for this.
Okay,
So Garden.
that's why I missed you. That still won't do it, but it's what I was giving everybody that was here tonight. Some people got a little more than the others because of various reasons. So yeah, now you got 82k.
Yeah, 29.
So we go ahead and add it to the character, the level.
Yes.
Be right back.
And that's just hit that plus button and it does it.
It'll ask you for sure, and then you say yeah, and it'll do it. It looks like Corthane's already doing it because he's got some
plus
empty
button.
spell slots.
Yeah, there's a green plus next to it. if
Oh,
you
look at
look.
that. That's new.
I did it. I'm a level 7 cleric, level 6 fighter now.
How many hit points you got?
Wow, 5 hit
I went
points,
from
man.
43 to 47.
Wow,
3
if
hit
we-
points.
I got 8.
Nice.
Yeah, that's nice.
I should have tried for a book of con or strength. Those were what killed me when I got reincarnated.
16 con is awesome for non-fighters.
Yeah, I'm at 13.
Ooh, I get another 3rd level and another 4th level spell too.
Nice. Speaking of, if any of you wizard casters, which would narrow it down to Corthane, did you level Corthane?
Yeah, I actually went up 2 wizard levels. I was really close, and then it pushed me over into
Okay.
7th level.
So
I've been
what
teetering on leveling
did you
for a
get
while.
Did you get a spell level? What levels did you go up?
Let's see, I went to 7, so I gained a 4th level spell.
So you get to pick a 4th
Alright,
of your
let's see
choice.
what-
That's what.
Okay, 4. Sticking to my stuff.
Wow,
Would it-
that's with a 15% penalty.
Yeah.
That gray elf.
that gray elf. Immune to 2nd level illusions, though, for whatever that's worth.
Yeah, and 96% chance to learn a spell, which, as you can tell from your game, I still haven't learned chromatic.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, at least the scroll didn't burn up.
No, yeah, you're right.
Oh, improved invisibility. That's the one. That's what we're going with.
Speaking
spell's-
of that is what Sinshok was using when he was
That
throwing
spell is so
fireballs.
broken.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's fucking awesome. As a bad guy using that with a wand, he just like blam, fireball, and he's invisible. Like a segment later or some shit like that.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Constant, yeah.
I
Such a good
remember.
spell.
I remember bad guys from Jeff Cooper days, and Robbie and Brian will remember this, doing that, and we were so pissed because it sucked.
Yeah, it's so frustrating. Yeah, you gotta have someone with purge invisibility or true sight or something to deal with that.
Detect invisible. I think we almost always used like detect magic because we never took detect invis back then.
Yeah, I typically don't allow that because there's always like residual magic in the area, and that'd be pretty lame if a 1st level spell could defeat minimum a 2nd level spell and a 4th level spell. So I make them take purge invisibility at the very least.
Glitter dust is always pretty good too.
Yeah, glitter dust is or if they're creative, like trying to throw chalk on somebody or something. If you could figure out where they are.
Did anybody else gain any spells? I don't think anybody else would, but
I got a 4th level spell now. I'm trying to figure out how to add it.
go to
Are you
records
gonna?
and do spells.
Say that
The
again?
records menu, under the records menu, there's spells. Just click on that. Then you'll have a list of spells pop up. Just sort it by do level and then type you want to set to divine. So do like level 4 divine, and you need to make sure it matches the spheres that you can cast, because 4th level is where you need to be major spells. So before that, if you had minor spheres, you could do up to 3rd, but major spheres are the only ones that you can do for 4th level and above.
How do
Yeah,
I make
glitter
4th
dust.
level spells visible on my character sheet?
Drag and drop it.
Oh, I see. Okay. I gotta actually add a spell first.
Yeah, you find the one you want in the list, from the records list. You look at it, look at the description. It looks like what you want. Drag and drop it. Now, keep in mind, priests don't have to have a spell book. So technically, you could drag every single spell that's there, that's in the sphere range that you can cast. I wouldn't recommend it because it will clutter up your spell list massively. But
Yeah, I'm
pick
not
the
gonna
ones
do
that you're
that.
going to cast a lot and put them in there. It'll also it'll make your character sheet, in certain situations when you open up various things, it'll cause some latency when you open up so many spells, and Fantasy Grounds just is not that great at dealing with a lot of data. Grimlock, looks like you have a non-weapon proficiency skill you can use.
Yeah, that's the thing. I was trying to figure out why it says that I've used 5, because I think I've only used 4, but maybe that language counted as one. I don't know. Because fire building and ancient military history are part of the Myrmidon thing.
Right. Engineering is 2, so blind fight, that's 4.
Yeah, exactly.
And
So
language,
I thought
yeah. You get dwarvish because you're a dwarf. You don't get
Yep.
common for free, so you took it. What it looks like. So you could speak common.
Yeah, so I was saving up the proficiencies because I wanted to get tumbling, but I think that's going to take 2. I thought
I think it'll take.
saved it from last round.
Let me look. That is definitely outside of
Yeah.
your thing. Tumbling costs 2 naturally, or is it just 1 and it? I see.
I think it takes 1, but it was going to take 2 for me because it was outside the fighter realm or whatever.
Oh yes, absolutely. Yeah, that's why. I was thinking it was already 2, and it would be 4 if you were bound outside. But no, it's.
Yeah, so that's what I thought I was already saving for that, but apparently not. So I will not use that non-weapon proficiency, and instead, if I ever level again, I'll take tumbling at that point.
Gotcha. Get 1 every 3 levels, so 4, 7. So at 9th, you'll get another one.
Okay.
Well, anybody else have any questions or things you want to do on your characters?
I had a question about those gauntlets of dexterity I have that you gave me. I tried to equip those and it only gave me 1 point of dexterity, and according to the description, it should have given me 2. So I was curious what happened there.
It may. I don't know. I'd have to look at them.
Yeah.
I was looking at Borkin's inventory. I think his helm of underwater action was destroyed at some point because it's not in his inventory.
Yes, it was. You were based on your inventory. Whenever you got hit by a fireball, you failed your save, and it was equipped. So I assumed you were wearing it.
Yeah, he always wore it. So that's cool that I got that ring of swimming.
Oh, that's why. Yeah, it's variant dexterity. So, yeah, I can't determine that at the build time. And 4 points if their dexterity is 6 or less. Can you mathematically do that, Charles?
Can I do what?
The how much dex you get versus how much dex you have.
Well, I had 13 decks before I equipped it, and it said that
Right.
if
What
you
I'm
had
saying
between.
is, can you give me a math formula, a one-string thing that'll do that? And then I could change the function to do that correctly based on your dexterity score.
You know, if dex equals what, 6 to 13? Is that what it was?
Well, what I need is like something like dex divided divided by a number greater than, or not even greater than. I can't even do that. I need to. I don't think I could do it in the mathematical formulas that I can do. I need to be able to do it all in one line, and there's no like if question. It's like dex divided by this plus this minus this, and this is what you get. Not equals. It's just like the math comes into that value.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, I don't even know if I would worry about dex is 6 or less, so you get 2 points or whatever.
Well,
you get 4
on
points
yours,
if
I
your
can
dex
manually fix it. That's not an issue.
Okay.
But I was just wondering if you could see it off the top of your head. But I'm not.
I don't know. There's three different settings for that thing, and it's all based on your dex. I don't know if you're going to be able to come up with a mathematical expression that'll fix that. But I see what you're trying to do.
Now that way it would work on everybody. But for now, I've manually set it to 2. And that's probably why I set it to 1, because I wouldn't know what they're... And there's no way... They don't have like a mathematical way to do all that within it without...
Well, that wasn't too bad. Those gauntlets actually lowered my AC by 1, so that was nice.
Hell yeah. Plus now you can pickpocket and pick locks.
That's right.
Dude, what?
Like 10% of the time?
No, it's more than that. It's for non-thieves. It's a lot more than that. If you're a thief, then it adds 10% onto whatever you have.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's what I was remembering, because Jareth had them at one point.
Yeah, I think it's like 4th level thief or something like that, maybe. That you get to roll
Fuck
as.
me, man. Plus
That's
9
cool.
to hit. Fuck me. I was looking at your bonus to hit with your axe now that you have that girl.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's high.
And maybe
Oh,
what I need
yeah.
to do is, instead of doing S4, we need to do G1 through 3.
There you go.
I remember.
That may be what we
rolling-
do. We'll do G1. See how that goes. Because
Everybody's-
with him, if he plays Grimlock in that high level thing, he's definitely...
Don't
We'll
dwarves get
definitely make
extra
it-
stuff against giants?
Yeah, they're like -4 to their AC to hit. And plus, he's
And
using a
dude-
two-handed axe. It does more damage to large creatures and all that
And
stuff.
it, man, if you are having balance issues because of the character, you can neuter him however you want. Because I could care less, dude. I just want to play. Or if you want me to roll up a different character, I don't care. I'm not
No,
looking
no.
to cause anybody any difficulties.
I
I
am
picked
not.
this character and leveled him the way I did, inspect him the way I did, because it was easy.
Yeah.
Right? I just focused on one thing rather than diversified it. Because to me, the whole leveling process is kind of annoying. I never want to do it. I'm like, man, can you just do that? So I just picked this path and focused on one weapon because it was simple.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you definitely do. You've done with this guy what I would do if that were the rules of the game as well, because it definitely focused you and made you very potent with your two-handed axe. You are super. You will be able to murder giants. I mean, 1d10 plus 14. No, 3d6 plus 14 damage to giants when you hit them, and you have +9 to hit them. Well, more than likely you won't miss with a tackle of 13. You got +9 to hit.
Yeah.
That's, you'd have to roll a 2, probably. I mean.
Yeah. Rolled a 12. I hit AC -8. I don't know what
Yeah.
giants have. I'm assuming it's not that.
No, and unless it's a special one, they're probably just gonna have not even in the negative range. But they have a ton of hit points. And they do a lot of damage. I mean, they basically would be doing to you what you're doing to them to a lesser extent, obviously, because they're not going to do 14 to damage. I don't think. At least not G1.
Yeah, it's just I've got very little health for a fighter, and using that two-handed axe, it hurts my AC because I'm not using a shield. So, but the thing is, giants, they have trouble hitting me as it is because I have the -4 AC against them.
We need to go like against the gnomes, because then they'd be like harder for us to hit. It'd be easier for them
Against
to
the
hit up.
gnomes. Gnomes wouldn't be hard for you to hit.
Well, but they're for the bigger, normal-sized people, because they're small, aren't they?
They are, but the dwarves get this special. It's just against. It's not because giants are large, because they don't get that bone. Like dragons are bigger than giants in some cases. They don't have a minus to hit dwarves. It's just for whatever reason the race gets. Maybe they're good at fighting giants and ogres and that sort of thing. So that's why they get the -4 to the race.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
There certainly are some smaller creatures that have lower AC because they're tiny, but they're super tiny. I can't think of any offhand, but I know there are some that are harder to hit because they're so small. That's not very recognizable. Charles will recognize this.
Well, I
All
recognize
of you
it. Where are you
probably
putting it?
will.
I'm already out of fantasy grounds.
There you go. My favorite game.
Oh, the music? I already turned Sirenscape off.
It's the main theme for EverQuest 1.
There you go.
Super duper loud. Alrighty, well, I think we can call it there. If you guys are, unless you have any questions or any last minute things you want to ask about, this version of the temple, we can call it there. And what I'll do is I'll set up I'll post something in the Discord channel talking about when we'll get together. It's going to be at least a month, so I would expect early September at earliest.
All right.
Cool.
I had a
Thanks
good
for
time
This has
running
been
this,
really
guys.
fun. This has been really fun.
Yeah, great game.
Yeah, it's been
Yeah,
awesome.
man, thanks.
Thank you
I
so
had a lot of fun running it. I appreciate all you guys showing up as often as you have to play it.
I look forward to continuing next month. Mike, take your time off, build your new PC, rejuvenate. Stay healthy, and we'll play next month, man.
Let us
It's been a
let
lot
us
of
know
fun.
when we can roll characters.
Figure
All
out.
right.
Give us think about what kind of characters we want to play.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I
I'm
mean,
gonna I'm
feel
gonna play
free to
something
use
different.
Discord.
I think.
Feel free to in Discord chat about what. Say, hey, I wanna. My mind's made up. I'm gonna play a wizard, if that's what you want to do, and that way everybody else can kind of bounce around what they want to talk about, what they want to play, and that kind of
7 wizards.
I will also never.
There you go.
I will also not ever play a ranger ever again.
Yeah.
No, they die.
Yeah, because they die
They eat the death touch.
and they die.
Well, or they just stop playing. Which is what happened with Luke. He was our ranger.
Yeah.
He was our longest lived ranger.
Yeah.
Does
Finial has already said, my mind's made up. I'm playing a wizard. There you go.
does this version have half orcs?
I think so. Am I don't remember. I'd have to
I
look at the
remember-
Player's Handbook, honestly.
Half-orc cleric assassin.
I remember.
Unfortunately, there is no assassin class, but you can be an assassin kit, that kind of stuff. Let's see, where are the freaking races? Racist. There actually isn't a half-orc race.
Yeah, I didn't
I
think there
can-
was.
That was
I can
first
pull
edition,
it.
right?
Yeah, I can pull it in. I mean, if you're really set on a half orc, I can go look at the stats for them in 1E and create them for whatever thing we're going to run. But just keep in mind that nobody's going to like you if they figure out what you are.
Yeah.
I mean, it won't be as bad as rolling a dark elf, a drow, because I've mentioned this before that you're welcome to run whatever you want if it's in the book, typically. But if you want to run a drow elf and you go into a village and go into a bar and they immediately clap you in irons and throw you in jail or kill you on the spot, that's on you, not me. Because that's basically the way in this world, in Greyhawk, that's the way they treat drow. They're not considered they're basically like bugbears or giants or trolls. They're evil and they should be killed. But half orcs aren't exactly like that. But keep in mind they're not in the book. I'd have to dig around and find one and actually create the race so that you can use it within the rule set. But I don't expect a huge amount of issues with it. But I think they get con and shrink bonuses and charisma and int negatives, if I recall.
Yeah, I was just thinking about it. I'll ponder.
I mean, I don't have anything against using first edition races and classes, except for the case of if they exist in 2E, I want to use the 2E versions. When it comes to combat, I'm going to use the 2E version of whatever it is. So I won't use this first edition specialization or stuff like that. It just makes it easier because we use the 2E rules in general. Honestly, I wouldn't be opposed to somebody playing a first edition monk. I would have to create the class, but it's not something a lot of people want to do. So all the handbooks will be in play if you want to use them. I just probably will at least limit the specialization in the case of everybody until anybody that can take it until like at the very least style specialization class and armor that kind of specialization. I probably won't be as restrictive. Like if you want to take the one where you there is a single weapon style specialization where you get like a bonus AC of up to 2 if you're using a single weapon. I won't be opposed to that. Anything that improves your defenses or your movement or stuff like that. The things that that's been a problem is things that give you multiple attacks seems to be what causes the most balance, I think. So, but all right, we will close it